Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a very long time since I filmed anything, but Priscilla from Release the Craft and has decided that she is doing an ephemera challenge in March. She's calling it Shabby Creep, which is like a play on shabby chic, but creepy. So she has asked a number of people with channels that are friends of hers to each take a day in March. I have 4 days as far as I can tell to do a ephemera based on the prompts, and she does have a prompt list available. And we're going to use the hashtag ShabbyCreep24. So if you'd like to play along, you can do that. And I do believe that for people who complete the entire series, there will be a giveaway at the end. That's my understanding at this time. So anyway, my first day is day 5, and the prompt is butterfly. The first thing I'm going to do is I took some papers that were in my stash, just mainly scraps because I'm trying to use up some of my junk. And I did some die cuts just of some foliage with the Spellbinders die for the old-fashioned Sizzix, you know, the manual one. And I also used this Tim Holtz set from Sizzix. If you want to pause it, look for numbers, names, whatever. I mean, a lot of people have these already because they're older and they were kind of a staple of the junk journal world for a while. And the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is put out some paper and distress some of these. So I will probably fast forward from here on. If I use a product, I will try and give you a view of what it is. So if you like it or you'd like to use it, you can figure out what it is. Okay, I'm back, and yeah, so kind of like this wax paper underneath that I've used here. I also soaked up a lot of the sprays, Distress Oxide sprays. Actually, they're not oxides, they're just distress sprays. Oxides change when you wet them, they oxidize. So these are just distress sprays. I think I'm going, since it has to be ephemera, I think I'm going to make a belly band of some kind. So again, got out a bunch of stuff from my stash. I'll show you. Ta-da! So I found this punch that I haven't used in a million years. It is Martha Stewart, and I kind of like that because it kind of says shabby chic to me. Obviously, here are the pieces of foliage I just made, and then just grabbed some extra pieces of stuff from my stash, buttons, things that said shabby chic to me, but also said creepy. I cut out, because my prompt was butterflies, I cut out some butterflies with my Cricut that looked creepy. Like this one is a skull. This one is like the death head moth or whatever it's called. I don't know what this one is, but it's kind of demony, scully looking. So yeah, everybody in the world who's been in junk journaling has seen this Immortal Love stack from Die Cuts with a View, I have a million of them, so I figured I would use one. So that's kind of what I got out just to work with, and we'll see where this goes. This is an old Martha Stewart punch that I had in my stash. So I just used some heavy cardstock, and I did some punching, and yeah, let me look for my paper because now we've got to grunge this up. It's way too pristine. Okay, that's somewhat dry. It's a little bit bland for me, so I think what I am going to do is take a little gold rub and buff. Hold on. Just add a little, I don't know. I mean, it's a glitz, but it's not glitzy. It's kind of, this one's like an antique gold. It's not like a shiny, shiny gold. And my paper's still a little bit wet. I think I'm going to continue to dry it with the rub and buff. Now the rub and buff is wax, so it may spread and do some, you know, like some nifty things. We'll see. Then again, it may do nothing at all. That's the fun of this particular kind of project, where you can be a little grungy and you can be a little, I don't know, different. Alright, let me pause you again. I'm going to dry this with my heat gun and see where we are. I think I'm going to do a little script and maybe emboss the script. So I got out my Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp. It's called Leisure Script, and there is the code if you want to purchase. I don't know if they still make it. It's old. I think you have to prime these daubers a little bit. Anyway, I'm hoping this works. So I don't want to squeeze too hard because I've squeezed too hard on daubers before and then the whole end flies off and you get goop everywhere. See what happens here. I think I can see a little bit of printing. Let's see. I'm sure you all know that when you use embossing powder, you got to dump basically the whole thing on there, and then you can put that back in the container. That's why I have the paper underneath it. Oh yeah, that worked. Okay, so let me put this back and heat set this embossing powder, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm also, I think, going to use some eyelets. Maybe, maybe not. I found this, you know, grungy, older, old gold or brassy colored ones. I pulled about 10 out of there. I wanted smaller ones, but I couldn't find smaller ones. So yeah, that is what we're going to use. We're going to start using what we have instead of always looking for something else. Okay, so let's see. The first thing I probably want to do is figure out how big I want my base to be. And because I chose this page out of the stack because I really liked it and I thought it said creepy and shabby chic, my opinion allegedly, I am going to cut a strip, I don't know, I think about 3.5 inches wide. Let's see, most of my books are about 8.5, 9, 8.5. Let's say 8.5 because, you know, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper folded in half is usually what people use for their books. I am going to put this there. That's from my stash. That's just a piece of vintage doily. See how we feel about these three? I'm gonna have to grunge this music paper up a little bit. It's way too, I don't know, something. It's way too something. Okay. I think I want to use this at the top and bottom, but I need some paper that I can grunge up. Okay, so that's done. I don't know if everybody knows this. It took me a while to figure this out. That embossing powder is micro fine plastics. So you got to be super careful when you heat it up, not to get on your skin, not to touch it until it's cool, because it will stick to your skin and it will burn. So be careful with that. Just cut a strip off. I'm gonna save that because I think it's really cool and grungy. And let's see. And then I need another piece the same size in a portion that I like. So this is going to be at the bottom. This is going to be at the top. Yeah, let's just switch that around. Put this one at the bottom. This one's going to be at the top. Let's put some of our foliage back here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I sort of like it. I probably will tweak it a little bit because that's who I am. But in the meantime, let me place these eyelets. Where's my crocodile? Make these the same by holding them together. Let's put one here. Maybe one in the middle. Trying to figure out. I'm gonna need a lot of this. I don't even know if I'm gonna like this, but we'll see. We'll see. I have a feeling this is gonna be super fiddly. Alright, so I'm gonna pause this because this is not gonna be fun to watch. And I will come back when I've decided if I like it or not. Okay, as I thought, this has proven to be extremely fiddly. My suggestion thus far that I found out is put your strings in and glue one end down. And now I'm going to try and glue the other end down and hopefully adjust my strings before the glue dries. So let's see how that works. That works surprisingly well. And I am going to let that dry. And then we'll come back and add final touches. Okay, and as you can see, that did add a little bit to the texture and the coolness of this. Not entirely sure that this is how I thought it was going to be when I started. I'm not entirely sure if I love it or not, but yeah, so this is what I have so far, and I think that just to add to the shabby chicness of it a little bit, I may add some lace and buttons to the bottom. Yeah, let me go hunt up a little bit of lace and then I'll be back, which I seem to be saying a lot. Okay, so as you guys may or may not know, my boyfriend has an upholstery shop, so I am able to swipe little tidbits of things from here and there. I grabbed a little piece of a sample discontinued upholstery fabric, and I am going to place some lace over it. It's a little bigger than I wanted it to be, so let me lap this down a little bit. It's a bit white. I may have to grunge it up a little bit. That lace, I couldn't find any off-white lace, which is what I was really looking for. But it is what it is, and we're going to work with what we have. I have these antique overcoat button here, which I'm going to lay out and try and work into. I don't know what this button was for, but these are all vintage and are in my stash. Now, you don't have to have a vintage button to make it look cute. You can use a button you got at Joann's. It's not going to make any big difference. I'm going to attach that there. Fabric just to make sure that it doesn't let loose at another date and time. And I may actually, unbelievably, add a charm to this too, because Shabby Chic is all about the overkill of fussy items, right? Be right back. Okay, so I went through my stash. I found a bulb pin, and I found a skeletal hand charm, which would work. Found a heart key, which will work towards the shabby chic of the Shabby Creep. Not sure how I feel about that one. And I also found this skull, which kind of picks up the skulls in the butterflies, and I think that's the one I'm going to use. So let me figure out how I'm going to attach this, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back with my finished product, and note to people, make sure that your Fabri-Tac is not exactly where you want to stick your bulb pin through, because that does tend to make it a little bit more difficult. So here is my belly band, and let me see if I can find something to show you how it would look in a book. I don't have a book that I would actually use this in, but, and this is a little busy, this page, so let me find another page. I would never leave my page fully just white, but if I were to use this in this book, I would definitely do something to the background a little bit to zhuzh it up so it's not so stark. But here, this gives you an idea of what it would look like in a book. I would glue the top and bottom, and then I would have access to put some kind of a tag or piece of ephemera that I wanted to keep, a note or a letter or a card or something from a friend behind that, and that would be the purpose of this piece of ephemera. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. Hopefully, I know I cut away a lot. I haven't been filming very much, so it's a little bit difficult for me, and as I mentioned before, I am having surgery on my right hand in 2 days, so I am having a little bit of problems with using it. It's an arthritis issue. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that this is day 5 of Priscilla from Release the Crafton's Shabby Creep ephemera series, and there will be a daily upload from different channels for this particular item. And I was going to add some splatters, which I would do and I will do, but I'm not going to do that until I figure out what page I want to use this on, because I want the splatters to overlap the page. I would just use a fan brush and some watered down acrylic paint to add some splatters. I don't want to do that now because I'm not going to use it in this place in this particular book, and I want, as I said, the splatters to pull in the coherence and bring it all together. Day 6. I'm not sure. I can't read this. Sorry. Don't have my glasses on. But I will link the next day's person in my description box, so you can go to the next day. Again, use hashtag Shabby Creep 24, and if you finish all of the dates, it's my understanding that Priscilla will be giving away some type of a prize to someone who has completed all the days. Not everyone, just she's going to pick one person, I assume. Again, have a great time doing these prompts, and it's good to see you again. I'll try to get back into uploading it, but as I said, I don't know how the hand issue is going to go. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch my stream, my video, and have a great day, have a great week, be kind to one another. Love ya. Bye.